different diagnostic criteria used, different age groups were included. In some of the dementia study, for example, there were patients included who were 45 years and older. Other studies it was 55 years and older, and so on. So you can see how that creates challenges when you're trying to summarize and provide a key point about each condition. The other thing is that the estimates that were provided were sometimes different in terms of sometimes they were adjusted for certain variables for the condition and other times they weren't, and so on. So there were various factors that we had to consider, and it was very challenging to try to come up with a single number to say this is how common this condition is, because it just wasn't feasible. So we tried to do our best to give you some ideas to what the closest estimate would be. This slide here is just to show you, so you have the 15 neurological conditions listed on the left-hand side. And then what you can see is the total number of abstracts, full-text articles, as well as final articles that were included in the study. So if you can see at the bottom that over 65,000 abstracts had to be reviewed in duplicate, meaning that 2 people had to review each to decide if the full-text article needed to be pulled, if the paper seemed to be relevant. Then there were almost 4,000 full-text articles that were pulled from the literature and reviewed in detail to see whether they met all our eligibility criteria. And in the end, over 1,200 articles the data were abstracted and they were synthesized so that we can come up with our estimates of incidence and prevalence for each of the neurological conditions. So you can see, the 1260, again, 2 people had to review all these data, and sometimes we often had a third reviewer to make sure that we could reach agreement. So I'm going to go through some of the data at this point. Let's starting with epilepsy.